It hasn't been too long since I looked at the best jerseys from each NHL team during the Adidas era. Now I'm going to do the worst. So get ready to whine and cry again, because I'm sure there are jerseys on here that you are going to disagree with a lot. But this is my opinion. So every franchise's worst Adidas jersey ranked from least bad to worst is how I'm going about this. And really, even saying least bad, like there's some jerseys on here that I would even call good. Right? Some teams just don't have bad jerseys, at least during the Adidas era. And so you'll see right here as we get started with Montreal that really, I would say they don't really have a bad jersey. Now, Montreal fans, they might say that they do. The blue jerseys, I don't know if the winning the winning percentage in them was as favorable, but I like the look of them. And again, this is going by looks. So to me, my least favorite would be the NHL 100 Classic jersey. But even then, like I actually think it's a decent jersey. Like it's nice. It's nice enough. So it's here at number one. So from here, we're going downhill. We're going to the very depths of the worst of the Adidas era after this. So the first few jerseys here, though, they're not bad at all. Like number two, the Seattle Kraken. Their worst to me was their reverse retro, and like that's not a bad jersey at all, at all. So yeah, Seattle hasn't really had much of a chance to screw things up too badly. They've had the least amount of time. Actually, they're the only ones who are new, other than well, it will be. I guess it's not expansion new, but still a new team will be Utah. But other than that, like Seattle's the only ones that kind of came in mid Adidas era because even the Vegas Golden Knights were at the start of the Vegas or sorry the start of the Adidas era, and so they've got their Adidas jerseys. They've definitely screwed up. You'll see. I think, but yeah, Seattle, nothing really bad about any of their Adidas jerseys, which is any of their jerseys in general, until we get their Fanatics ones this coming season. Number three, I have the Colorado Avalanche, and I feel like Colorado fans are not gonna like this uh, choice because I think a lot of people would say the bib jersey. I kind of like the bib jersey. I don't. I know it looks like a bib, but I just think it's very unique. And so for me, the Colorado, and again, it's not a bad jersey, except for one thing that kind of makes it not liked in my eyes as much. But it's just their, original Adidas jerseys. Love that they went back to the kind of mountain shape at the bottom, but I just can't stand the collar at all. The collar to me is just, I don't know. Like there's like four colors meeting together and not meeting very well. You got the silver meeting with the maroon, and then there's the white that meets with that, and the blue that's kind of up. It's just I've always despised this collar. I think it's possibly the worst collar from the Adidas era. But other than that, it's a beautiful jersey, of course, and so it's not very low. Fourth, I've got the Ottawa Senators, and I went back to their 3D kind of Sens logo. So to me, that logo, I don't know. I don't know. It's not bad. Like, I don't even know if I prefer that or the one they have now. The jerseys, though, that striping is kind of weird to me, especially the black underarm stripe. I just feel like I don't know why they designed it like that. To me, that doesn't look that great. But overall, again, not a bad jersey. I would still call it their worst during the Adidas era because there's one that I despise that's outside of the Adidas era, but it's outside, so we don't have to bring it up. It's the Sens jersey. But yeah, this is fine. It's again, we're at number four, so we're doing all right. Five, St. Louis Blues. I think that their worst jersey is their Reverse Retro 2.0. I was kind of between this and the St. Louis Reds jersey, their first Reverse Retro, because that was just kind of an odd way to do it. But I feel like this one just, to me, doesn't look quite as good as that one. Although I do like this. I think it's kind of cool that they went way back to this design. And again, it's the St. Louis Yellows, kind of more so, but still, I don't think it looks that bad. A little odd in a way, but yeah, definitely doesn't deserve to be lower. Flyers, Philadelphia Flyers. What is my least favorite Flyers jersey from the Adidas era? It is their 2019 Stadium Series jerseys. I don't know. They're fine again. They're just the ones that I like the least. So yeah, nothing bad here yet. Seventh, I've got the Rangers, and I like a lot of the Rangers jerseys from the Adidas era. A lot of them. So this one at the bottom, even though I love the logo, I just think is the weakest, and that's their original Liberty reverse retro. Just because it's kind of boring, there's just not much going on. It felt like they could do a lot better with that, and they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. Although it was nice at least to see that they did go back to the Liberty logo. So I love that, but other than that, it definitely does seem to be their weakest jersey of the Adidas era. In eighth, I've got the Pittsburgh Penguins. And again, I wouldn't say there's any real bad jerseys from the Penguins. But the worst one to me is their first reverse retro, where it's just diagonal Pittsburgh. Just a little boring. And I think, especially at that point, they definitely did great in the 2.0 reverse retro. But this first one, it just felt a little lackluster. It felt like, oh, that's what they went with. They just went back to that. But I wouldn't call it a bad jersey. I just think it's just maybe a disappointing jersey, but just kind of a little lackluster. In ninth, I've got the Canucks, and for the Canucks, I'm really glad they changed away from this, because when they started the Adidas era, they carried this over, and that was the Vancouver word mark over the Orca. And so to me, that's my least favorite Canucks jersey. I love a lot of them though. I love the Johnny Canuck. I love even the one, their first reverse retro. Originally, like, I had that in mind. Like, I'll probably have to go with that. But I looked at it more and more, and I'm like, this is actually super nice still. I love that gradient jersey. Obviously, I love the red gradient jersey a lot more, but the green gradient is, I like it. I still really like it. So I went with this because the word mark's over top, and I'm really glad that they took that off in 2019, I believe. 10th, I have the LA Kings, and this one's a bit of a weird one. But I actually still really like it in a lot of ways. I still do think it's the Kings' weakest jersey, but their stadiums from 2020, I actually kind of like it. It's very different. It's got like checker marks on the back neck, which I'm not really judging on the back neck, but it's just interesting. But even that weird like LA, I don't know, do you call it a logo? I guess you call it a logo. It's just, it's interesting enough. The number font on the back is very interesting too. So to me, it's not a horrible jersey, but I do still think it's the Kings' weakest. 11, I've got the New Jersey Devils, and what could I choose for the New Jersey Devils? I mean, I could choose their stadiums from this year. I wasn't the most fond of those, but they're not too bad. But I did go with the jersey. But we're still not in the realm of like really bad jerseys yet. I still don't think these are that bad. I love the 3D kind of number backgrounds on the font, and even on the front too, but on the back font especially, it really pops well on the numbers there. So yeah, not a bad jersey, but again, still probably the weakest for New Jersey in my eyes. 12th, I got the Minnesota Wild, and this one you probably would be able to guess as well. It's definitely their Winter Classic. Just a little bit weaker than what they normally have. Kind of a weird thing going on with the stripe up top and the just the word around MPLS, Minneapolis, St. Paul. But it's still, I don't think it's that bad, but it's still something that I'm like, yeah, we're starting to get into the realm of jerseys that are like, this could have been a lot better. This is kind of maybe easily the worst, or maybe not, but yeah, for me, that's my pick for Minnesota. Buffalo. Again, Buffalo, yeah. So, Buffalo, there's really only, because in the past, Buffalo has had some really egregious jerseys, but I don't know. The Adidas era was a lot more kind to them, and I had to just really choose their reverse retro 2.0 just because there's just the way they colored it didn't really allow for I don't know, just like enough going on, I guess. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot lacking here. The colors are nice where they are, where there is color, I should say. But I feel like it needs to be more. I just feel like there need to be more there. I love their opposite version of this with the red and black. But yeah, the reverse retro here, it definitely wasn't my favorite. 14th, I've got the Anaheim Ducks, and I actually really like the Wild Wing jumping through the ice jersey. And so I'm actually not putting that. So I'm just going with their regular standard away jerseys. And to me, they're they're not great, but they're not that bad. I think they definitely were overblown by how much people hated these things. I definitely am happy they're changing though, because it'll be a lot nicer with the Mighty Ducks mask in the triangle with the cross sticks behind it. Even the new updated version, I think that looks good too. I don't know if I'm as much of a fan of the away version of what they're going to with Fanatics, but the home version I do quite like, and I think both are still a step up from this. Um, Although I feel like I would prefer like darker shoulders on the new jerseys, but that's all right anyway. Um, 15, I've got the Boston Bruins, and I was wondering if I would choose the Paddington one, but I definitely thought in the end, like, I don't know if that's a good idea. And then I kind of looked at them more and more, and in the end, I went with the Fenway 2023 Winter Classic jerseys with the, I guess they call it the Meth Bear, or they call it a lot of stuff anyway. But yeah, I don't know. This one, when I first saw it, I was kind of like, it's it's fun that they went with that as the front of their jersey, but I don't know if it looks that great. I know there were a lot of people that were a fan of it, but yeah, to me, it doesn't really hit. 16, the Winnipeg Jets, and this is another one that I feel like might be a little bit controversial because I actually really like their Royal Canadian Air Force jerseys. I don't mind those at all. I know there's a lot of hate for them, but to me, the worst Jets jerseys are just their home jerseys. I've never liked these at all. Not even just the collar, where it's just kind of weird and there's just like this thing on the front. But just in general, I don't know. I've never been really a big fan of this design or these colors. I think the white jersey looks a lot better, like their away jersey. But really, in my eyes, they should really just change altogether and, just go straight to those heritage jerseys as their home and aways. This, to me, it can go. It really can. 17, I've got Florida. And, as a Florida fan, I absolutely, I'm so happy that they won the cup. Like, beyond. I'm like overjoyed. But I'm still not a big fan of these jerseys. I mean, maybe they'll hold a fondness in my heart because that's what they were wearing. But then the other thing is like, oh, they had to wear that when they won. So that's what they wore when they won. But yeah, so it's more like that. I love the Leaping Panther. A lot of people who have seen this channel for a while have known that the Leaping Panther is like one of my favorite logos ever. Probably my favorite ever. But yeah, so I miss it. And even this, the stripe doesn't go all the way around. And I don't know. It just feels like, I don't know, it could be a lot better. It's not my favorite. 18, I've got Chicago, and I think we all kind of know what this is going to end up being. It's their Reverse Retro 2.0. So yeah, they dropped the ball a little bit with this, but I would just say a little bit. I think really the big thing should have been they had a logo. Like just saying Chicago across the front makes this like, why would we want to buy it? In my eyes at least. It's just like, it's just so boring. It's lackluster. It's just not a good decision. But I do love the rest of the jersey. I like the striping. I love the numbers on the back with the striping. So there are things that I like, but overall, it's like, yeah. And I think we all kind of know that. Why did they just say Chicago on the front instead of putting like a logo or something else on there? That's my thought. 19, I've got the Calgary Flames, and this is one that it shouldn't be this low, but there's something in it that just bothers me so much. And if you've seen my Reverse Retro 2.0 jersey, or ranking, you know that. So Reverse Retro 2.0, the seam line right above the pedestal there is just such an eyesore to me, and I I I don't like that they had to do that. That to me was just brutal. It just makes it look so cheap and lame and not really professional at all. And so even though the design is not too bad, I just don't like that seam line at all. And so yeah. 20, I've got the Arizona Coyotes, and I don't know, I feel like I have mixed emotions when it comes to this jersey, because there's some nice stuff about the Desert Knights, or as I like to call it, Desert Knights alternate. There's some good things about it. I kind of like the designs that are going around. I don't know, but there is a sense in which it kind of does have a bit of a boring look. The Arizona just being words across the front is really not the most exciting thing at all. And so I don't know, even the colors, yeah, to me it's not amazing. Even though I think that design of the stripes is kind of cool, it's not enough really to get this higher up. So as we go lower, we're going to get to the San Jose Sharks. And for them, it's definitely their reverse retro. I love that they did this. Not that I love the jersey, but I do love that this is what they did because it was a throwback to the Seals. And so it works, it makes sense. And so I'm glad they did it, but that doesn't mean it's a nice jersey. So yeah, the font is so small. It just looks like the front is just so without anything. And the colors are nice. I think the colors are kind of cool and unique. But again, just the front of the jersey just feels like there needs to be more there. Even though in a way there still shouldn't be because they're throwing it back to something very particular, right? It's just that the Seals just did not have a good logo at all when they just wrote Seals on the front, or word mark logo, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Washington. So this is going to start off our look at something that I've mentioned a lot of times before that I very much dislike about hockey jerseys. When they do this, bugs me so much, and that's shortened nicknames. And so for Washington, I think they have the best of the shortened nicknames jerseys, but still, I don't like when they just put caps or sens, right? Sens drives me nuts. Um, that jersey drives me nuts. I'm glad it's gone. But the caps, yeah, not a big fan of that. The overall colors of this jersey, they're fine. They went back to kind of something similar here when they did that W logo with the Washington Monument kind of in the middle and the stars on top. But so I don't mind that. I think the design is okay. I just don't really like that they do caps. I just think that looks really bad. And we're gonna get more of these. 23, the Columbus Blue Jackets, and so a different thing here. I just think these jerseys are just boring. Their standard homes, I think, should change to some degree. But yeah, I've never really liked these. I'm not a big fan of the logo either. I'm a big guy on let's go with the Cannon jerseys. They're just so nice. The away jerseys of these, though, they don't look that bad. But the homes, I just think with all that blue being the same blue and that logo, and it just feels very bland to me. And so I've never really been a fan of this ever. 24, I've got the Oilers, and they've got a pretty bad one. I I will say, okay, I'll put it up here. These are terrible. The orange as the primary color here with this kind of dark blue, they really dropped the ball when Adidas came in, I think. Because I actually liked their orange jerseys from the Reebok era, the ones that McDavid got drafted in. I like those. But when they went over to Adidas, they just, I don't know what they were thinking doing that here. It just did not work at all. Yeah, I don't like these at all. 25, I've got Vegas, and their Winter Classic is pretty bad. Like I don't like this in almost any way. I guess the back numbers are kind of cool, but if that's all you got, that's not great. The V at the front, I dislike that a lot. The style, the colors, It just overall is just, yeah, not great. 26, I got the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this is one of the weirdest decisions to do for a jersey that I can remember. The Toronto arenas, arenas you can barely see. Like it's just, it's so weird to me that they would do that. Like you can just barely see it. It just feels like just put the T on there. Like just put the T or just make the arena's letters white as well or something that you can see. But yeah, it's just it's so weird to me that they made this choice. It's such a weird weird choice. 27 I got Detroit and yeah, it's the most boring jerseys ever. It's these things. Oh, to replace the red with gray or silver, I guess. Oh, it's just such a bad choice. I just yeah, it just looks so boring. So boring. Um, 28, I've got the Tampa Bay Lightning. And again, going with the theme of I don't like shortened nicknames, we have a shortened nickname, and that's the Bolts jersey. And I know people like this jersey, um, even though they may not like, the shortened nicknames like I do. I think they did a good job with like putting those like bolt accents on the edges of the B and the S. Other than that, I'm not huge on this. Like the bolt stripe on the bottom, it's okay. The numbers on the back are not great though. They feel small and I don't know. They just don't look that great, thin. I'm just really not a big fan of this jersey. I think they do some good things with it again, but really it's very far low. And again, shortened nicknames. I can't stand that. 29, I've got the Dallas Stars, and this is like another choice, kind of like the Arenas jersey. This is such a weird choice to choose this. So, why would you choose to have that silver as the edge of the stars and the stars, the word stars? Like, I don't know. You just cannot see it that much. And I don't know. It's so weird to me, some of these choices. Yeah, this was a bad choice. We all remember this, I'm sure, from the first reverse retro batch. It's bad stuff. 30, I've got Carolina, and again, for the same reason. It just says Canes. I can't stand this. You can see through the jersey as well. It's just like you see sometimes, the players' brands of their, I guess shoulder pads or whatever's under there, because there's just nothing on that kind of front area there. Really, I don't know. It just feels like there's some emptiness, and it shouldn't be because it's similar to the Rangers, right? It should be similar to the Rangers, but it's not. I don't know. It just never really looked that great. And again, shortened nickname. I hate that. And so I don't know if they're going to change this. I really want them to. I'd rather them go to the even the double flag, put that on there. I don't know. I guess there would be some similar issues, but it would be at least better than saying Canes, that's for sure. This is just bad. 31, I got the Islanders, and that's their Stadium Series. It's, again, pretty brutal. But the worst jersey, and I don't know if you're a fan of this team, if you've noticed them not come up yet. If you're not a fan of this team, but I think there's, I don't know. Sometimes I like calling those shortened nicknames jersey fouls, right? Like the Sens jersey foul, the Isles here jersey foul. But are they really jersey fouls? I don't know. But I think this last one, I don't know. Can we say that it's a jersey foul to do this? I just think it's one of the weirdest things I've seen. So odd. Some people have probably said they like this. I think this is absolutely the worst jersey of the Adidas era. And it is the Nashville Predators Smashville jersey. I can't stand this thing. Even the font on the back is bad. Like that 7 with skinniness and the 4 with thickness. Oh man. It's so sad that this is the only Predators jersey from the Adidas era with like blue as like the main base color. I think it is anyway, but it's just like, how? Why is it this? It's so bad. It's so bad. I can't even get over this. So, anyway, let me know what your choices are for the worst jerseys of the Adidas era. Let me know your favorite team and what you think is their worst as well. And yeah, maybe you're part of a team that doesn't have any bad jerseys during this time, or maybe you're a Nashville fan. So, yeah. Anyway, with that, I'll take my leave and get to watching the draft pretty quickly here. You'll probably have already seen the draft by the time this is released, but yeah, I'm excited for that. And yeah, take care.